From the John DeVita Broadcast Center, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Paranormal Radio with Bob Tricek on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich. So sit back and enjoy Paranormal Radio. And now here he is, the king of Paranormal Radio, Mr. Bob Tricek.
I'm still the king from last time, huh? I'm still the king. I haven't been demoted to prince yet. Okay. Well, tonight we've got kind of a full boat for the show tonight, so we're going to get started here because we've got many people to talk with. And I'm just going to start introducing. Before I do that, I think we just got to do some stuff for next month, let you know what's coming on with the show. Next month I'll be doing a paranormal conference. I'll be doing a talk at a paranormal conference. It's in Orland Park. I'm not quite certain where that's at. They want me to do a lecture over there, and that will be with MUFON. They're the people with the Mutual Unidentified Flying Object Network of Illinois, and we'll be having them on next month. A couple of the folks from that organization will be on with us next month in March, and so we'll be doing that. We'll get them on, because I've never had any UFO people on. We've had all sorts of variety of different people on, paranormal related and that, but nobody with the UFOs, so I'm kind of looking forward to that. We'll get them on here. Tonight we've got a full boat of people here. We have with us Mr. Kevin Korst, and Mr. Korst is the local history coordinator with the Oaklawn Library, with a specialty in cemeteries. That's why we brought him on here. It should be kind of popular because, as we all know, with cemeteries, people are dying to get in. I just had to do it. Yeah, I had to do it. Yeah, I know. Mr. Julius Schwarzenegger? Schwarzinger, okay. We have him on. Mr. Marty Tong. Miss Donna Fisher, who doesn't want to speak, but she's here nonetheless for moral support, I suppose. Miss Mahala Bacon, who's the pastor of the Evangelical Spiritualist Church. And then we have some ghost box builders, which is kind of interesting. We're looking forward to that. Mr. Chris Landry, Mr. Bill Pohl, and Andrew Openlander. So we've got a full boat of people here. I'm going to start with folks in the order that I booked them, and that would be with Mr. Kevin Korst. Since he was the first one I booked, I went to one of Mr. Korst's lectures over at the Elsip Library, I think you were at. Wasn't it at Elsip?
Yeah, it was
you were
at
there?
Elsip.
Yeah, and that was over in, you might have to move in a little closer. I don't know if we can hear you. Yeah, and that was in November. I heard him, and then I went up to him and asked him if he'd like to come on the radio because it was an interesting lecture, and I found him to be an interesting person, and I liked what he was talking about, so we invited him to come on. So we're going to just start talking with him. Welcome to Paranormal Radio, Mr. Korst.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Nice to have you here. So your specialty is cemeteries.
Yeah, that's one aspect of what I do. I've been at the library for just about 6 years now, and we focus a lot on Oaklawn's history. But as part of that, we talk a lot about area cemeteries, and over the last few years, I've researched about a dozen different cemeteries across the south side of the city into the suburbs. So it's been a pretty interesting experience. Yeah,
cemeteries they can be very interesting places. Some of the architecture and the things that go on in cemeteries, you don't usually think of them in that way, but nonetheless they are. And around the Chicago area, we've got some great ones. Some ones worthwhile, worth mentioning. What's your favorite cemetery, if there is such a thing as a favorite cemetery?
Some of the better ones I've been to are Graceland and Rosehill up on the north side, which are just amazing places.
Yeah, Rosehill, you could spend about a week in there.
Yeah, absolutely packed with Chicago history. And then also smaller ones further south like Bachelor's Grove are just incredible places to walk around, research, learn about the history, and see what's still there.
Yeah, Bachelor's Grove is steeped in history. There's not too much of it left now.
No.
I think you would probably know this, being the expert on the cemeteries. I think there were originally like 200 stones there, weren't there originally?
Yeah,
there's about 20 left.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There was an estimated probably 150 to 200 graves, and yeah, they're only down to about 20, and even those, the original locations are unknown. So unfortunately, over the last 50 years or so, the cemetery has really declined.
Mm-hmm. So now you're not so much studying the haunted aspect and the paranormal of the cemeteries. You're mostly dealing with the history and the...
Correct, yeah. I definitely come at it from the archives history angle. Obviously, the paranormal, urban legends, stories are all part of that. They encompass that. But I definitely focus more on the history of the place as well as the history of the people who are buried there.
So now, what's the origin of the name of Bachelor's Grove Cemetery? I've heard a couple of stories on this. Let me hear your story.
The common story is that it was named after 4 single men who were buried there. It's most likely named after a family, the Batchelor family, who were originally owned land in that area. But those are the 2 common stories. It's probably the family.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like too. Now, I heard a different thing, though. The name was Batch Elder. That's what I heard.
Correct.
And
yeah.
then oh, so that is the right story
Yes.
then. Okay, you just forgot that one. It was Batchelder, and then gradually over the years it just got shortened to bachelors.
Correct.
So we don't really know.
Yeah, and as with many things, the passage of time, as the story is told and retold and told again, details get changed and urban legends and different
And I'm
stories
sure as a
develop on
historian that you spent a lot of time in the cemetery itself.
Oh, yeah, very much so. That was actually when I started researching a couple of years ago, that was the first cemetery I went to. I drugged my very pregnant wife at the time to the cemetery, and we walked around and met some pretty incredible people. Some who were very much supporters of the paranormal there, other ones who were very dismissive of it. But it was very interesting hearing both sides of the story.
See, that's how it goes. When you're going out with her, you take her to nice places. And after you're married for a few years and you're pregnant, you take her to the cemetery.
Exactly, yeah.
Doesn't say much for marriage, does it?
No.
That's how it goes. So you had any unusual occurrences. I have to ask you this while you were at Bachelor's Grove, anytime.
I have not. No,
No, nothing?
I get asked that all the time, and of the numerous times I've been in cemeteries, I unfortunately or fortunately, depending on your perspective, I guess, I have not seen or heard anything out of the ordinary.
Okay, so nothing out of the ordinary. And I'm
No.
guessing you're usually there during the day, not after
yeah,
hours. Yeah, that's why I'm usually there too. I don't go there after hours at night. It
Right.
just isn't too safe. The terrain there is just really not too safe. It's kind of hilly and rocky, and it's very easy to trip and fall and
It
that
is,
kind of stuff.
yeah.
And then you run into trouble with the authorities too after hours being there. After
Very
dark and
much
that.
so. Yeah, they're not too happy about you being back there during the
Mhm.
daytime. So let alone night. Yeah.
So then Rosehill Cemetery.
Yeah, Rosehill is an incredible place.
You're telling me, yeah.
It's huge. It's about 300 acres in size, and it was originally, of course, outside of the city, but now it's within the city limits. But there's just tons of fascinating people there. In Graceland, more specifically, they're considered sister cemeteries, but George Pullman was buried in Graceland, as well as Daniel Burnham, Jack Johnson, some other well-known figures.
A lot of Chicago notables.
Exactly,
Daniel
yeah.
Burnham, of course, famous for a lot of Chicago architecture and the Columbian Exposition and
Correct.
all that. Yeah, so a lot of
Yeah.
stuff there. I want to go back to Rosehill Cemetery because I want to go to Mr. Sears' mausoleum and see if I can contact him, and I want to let him know what's going on with his company these days. And let him know that it just isn't the company it used to be, and maybe he can come back to us and maybe do something about
Right,
that.
right.
Get it back on gear again, on tilt again. you know.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah. But the cemetery architecture is just absolutely beautiful, and I'm sure you as a historian, that's a lot what you're concerned with, as well as the stories of the cemetery.
Oh, yeah, and it's a symbolism on the graves. I mean, you can walk by a grave and not know anything about that person, but if you look at what symbolism, is there a symbol of a lamb, is there a sheaf of wheat, is there an image of a soldier, it can tell you a lot about that person without anything else, without any further research, just looking at the stone itself.
Yeah, and then the old saying goes true as it's been for many years, they don't make them like they used to, so the monuments now on cemeteries are just not what they used to be.
No, and when you go to cemeteries that were opened in the late 19th, early 20th centuries, you tend to see a lot bigger stones, you see a lot more mausoleums, there's a lot more detail, especially when you're looking at some of the wealthier individuals from Chicago's history who have these just incredible monuments built to them.
Sure, you showed off. Even in death you showed off. You
Yep.
wanted it impressive,
Exactly, for sure.
Okay, let's get some other folks into the conversation here. Miss Bacon, Mahela Bacon.
Hello, good evening.
Thank you. Very nice to have you here. I've been wanting to get you on for some time, and you actually snubbed me about 2 years ago. I asked you to come on, and you were like, nope, I'm not doing that. But then you changed your mind. You may not remember it, but you did, but we got you on here.
Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. I'm so glad you could come on.
And
I really am.
I'm so sorry I snubbed
No,
you.
not a problem at all. This happens to me all the time. Something in my personality, I guess. I don't know. But eventually we get them here. After they don't remember me. Maybe it's first impressions. I just don't make good ones, I suppose. Now, you are the pastor at the Evangelical Spiritualist Church, and that is over in Cicero.
That's correct.
Yeah. Now, as a spiritualist pastor, you have, I don't know how to say this. You have a lot of contact with spirits, I should say.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Our building originally was a funeral home. The Horaces had it.
Weren't they all?
And the church bought it in 75. Reverend Hilborn was the pastor at the time. He bought it in 75. And what's a better place for a spiritualist church but a funeral home?
Sure, because you have a lot of spirits in there.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's right.
I was there in the fall. I attended one of your seances there in November.
Yes.
And I liked it. It was an interesting experience. I had been to seances before, but I liked the way you conducted yours. I was very happy with the results there. I just enjoyed it. Very enjoyable experience. And that's why I said
Thank
I'm
you.
very, very happy that we got you on here. Let's get some of your other folks here in the conversation too. And please, anytime I'm talking to anybody on here, if you got something to say, please feel free to join in here. So we don't want to, exclude anybody from the conversation and try to get you all sometime on the air here talking. Mr. Tong, Marty.
Yes.
Geez, that's a nice voice. I like the way he sounds on the radio.
Voice made for radio.
Yeah, there he is. You are also associated with the church.
Yes, I'm a student there, and I've been going there for 15 years and learning from Pastor Bacon.
Okay, so by a student, I'm assuming there are classes there.
Absolutely.
Now, what do you learn in a Spiritualist Church?
Well, we all aspects of spirituality, and it doesn't necessarily have to be the.
Is this something that can be taught, or is it just like something you have to have, or you don't?
Well, no. Everybody is has the ability. It's you'll learn how to tap into that ability, and a big part of that is like walking the spiritual path and leading the spiritual lifestyle, and that builds your energy, your vibration, so to speak.
And how long have you been a student there?
15 years.
15 years, and you still haven't graduated?
That's what I always tell her. And that's like room
My
222.
Lord in heaven.
Yes, they don't graduate.
Yeah.
You don't graduate.
No.
It just kind of goes on and on. It's
No.
like a learning experience is what it comes out
Yeah,
to.
just like room 222.
Yeah, room 222. Now, you have to be kind of old to remember that one. Wasn't it Karen Valentine once upon
Yes.
a time? Yeah, okay, I remember that one a while ago. Remember her, that's what I remember. It's an old TV show, just in case anybody out there in Radio Land is wondering what we're talking about here.
But during the class, though, Pastor Bacon encourages us to develop our own abilities and be kind of like self-sufficient.
So everybody has these gifts. It's just a way of learning to tune into them and tap into
Exactly.
them and that kind of thing like that.
Exactly.
Ever encounter? I should be asking Miss Bacon this. You ever run into anybody that just plain and simply can't be tapped?
No.
Some people just are not spiritual at all. Nothing.
No, if
No?
they don't take an interest.
I get it. Okay.
But
Well, by showing
everybody-
up for the classes, they're right away showing that they have an interest. So.
And it's just the feeling. You walk into a room and it's like everybody's smiling, hi, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I could cut the tension with a knife. That's being intuitive.
And we have to say, a lot of people don't know this. Oddly enough, at this day and age, I'm surprised to find out how many people don't know that this is actually a recognized religion.
Yes.
So this is not just some little thing in an old Walgreens store or something that sets up there. This is actually spiritualism.
Yeah, it's
a
an
religion.
actual discipline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an actual recognized religion and this kind of stuff. So that means you're tax exempt also too, right?
We are a religion. It's
Okay.
the spiritualist religion. We have, I happen to be the treasurer of a national organization. And
You're the treasurer of the national organization?
of the Independent Spiritualist Association.
It sounds like a pretty big treasury. National organization. That's a big responsibility.
So we are nationwide. We're worldwide. I have friends all over the world that we Skype with. All of our services are Skyped. And I don't know what else to tell you about it.
It's big in England.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yes.
It's huge.
I was just
in
I was just coming to that. I was just going to say, is this like bigger? Do you find like in other countries, maybe countries that are a little more leaning to other religions where it's maybe not so? And then also too, do you have people that kind of double dip? People that are say like Roman Catholic or Episcopal, something, and they also follow the Spiritualist
Most
Church
of our
too?
congregation have other churches that they go to. They come to us for the spiritual teachings.
Okay, this sounds good to me. Okay, Mr. Julius, where's Julius?
Right here.
Julius, let's get you talking on here. You are associated with the church also too.
Yes, I am.
Are you a 15-year student too?
Oh no, I'm.
You're a graduate.
Nope.
No,
I'm
you're
gonna
not a
be there
graduate.
almost a year. I think it's in May.
Oh, so you're a newcomer to it.
Yes.
So we have an old timer here, 15 years, and you're new to it.
Yes.
So what's your impression being there with a year in it? You're happy with it, and
I'm absolutely happy with
wonderful, good.
it. I learned a lot. You know, like what Marty was saying, it changed me around a lot. I've seen a lot of different things that I never saw before, and if you open yourself up, you start seeing things and feeling things and reading people, and I've been doing that more often. It's awesome. It is
Good.
awesome. Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. That's what church should be all about. Religious should be a personal experience, something fulfilling, and something that you're getting something out of, and you can share with other people.
Julius also is in charge of the Echo Box. On the first Saturday night of the month, we have readings, and I do 2 questions, and
We'll get to the
a mini
commercials in a
read.
minute, Mihaela.
But well, he does the Echo Box,
Okay,
so
yeah.
he has a responsibility.
Yeah, okay. Now, what exactly? All right, as long as you brought up the Echo Box, what exactly is an Echo Box for our listeners that may not know what this is?
Well, it's pretty much like what Andy's box does, but it's his is done through radio frequencies. This is done through how did you call it, Andy?
Sound banks.
Sound banks, and what it does is you can communicate with spirits through it, which is kind of odd, but it works pretty well. We had pretty much good success with it.
Okay, so now, do you need this box? I'm kind of asking you questions here. I know some of the answers to, but I'm just asking it for the benefit of our listeners. Do you need this box to communicate with the spirits, or is this just something extra if you want to maybe pursue this a little further?
This is the only way that I know how to do it.
Okay,
personally.
so you have to have this box to communicate with the spirits?
Me, yes.
Oh, you personally?
Yes.
Okay, but some people may not.
Well, it's a tool. The Echo Vox is an application that you put on your smartphone. And how it works is that you have banks of sound files of different words and phrases, and it randomly scans through those words and phrases and spits out bits and pieces, supposedly at the discretion of the spirits in control of it, and they provide intelligent responses to your questions. That's how it works. Now, what I do is based on
I got a big
radio
answer there, but I have no idea what he's talking about.
Oh, well, yeah.
And just in case you're wondering who this is Mr. Andrew Openlander, and you are with the box builders, right? The ghost box, spirit box builders?
I'm a spirit box builder.
Mm-hmm.
I have a company called Chicago Spirit Wave here in the city, and I make custom-made receivers that people use to communicate with the other side with spirit entities.
So this box is like an advisable thing. If this is something you want to go into and you say, I do want to communicate with people and I want to get into this, you need one of these boxes.
Well, you don't need it, but
it's advisable.
It's advisable.
Okay.
I definitely advise it
Okay.
since I'm in the business of making them. But my customers,
Yes.
I was going to say, there's nothing like tooting your own horn there, which is what it's all about. And we should start giving some phone numbers out here, too, just in case someone's interested in this and they would like you to build them a box. Now, these are custom products. You build these individually for the people, so it's not like something that you have prefabbed and you slap them together and here you go, your box is ready.
No,
so
it
how can we
shows
get a hold
me.
of you if we want to have a box built?
my webpage is www.chicagospiritwave.com. I'm also Chicagospiritwave.com.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And you reach me through there or through Facebook.
Okay.
And I'd be happy to answer your questions.
Sure, and you get some questions and details and all that. And just to ask you here, ballpark, what does one of these contraptions run?
Well, I'm coming out with a brand new model right now that's new and improved.
The 2015 model.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It'll run about $450.
My Lord, that's quite a lot of money. So you have to be pretty serious about this.
Worth every penny of it.
Worth every penny. They're all handmade, hand-tuned. I'm an experienced
So this is for the serious spiritualist.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. The Echo Vox you could get for about $20.
Okay.
So if you're on a budget.
So you think it's kind of advisable to start this way, like start off maybe with the $20 one and then maybe work your way up into it? This is the one that he put. Okay, they put one in front of me. Of course, you can't see this on the radio.
Yeah.
And this is what the box is, and it's made nicely. It's all dovetailed, so it's not cheap construction. It's made nicely and finished nicely and everything. And this does its job, huh? And you're going to be demonstrating this for us too, aren't you?
Whatever you want, yes.
Well, we want. That's why we're here. Yeah. Before we demonstrate this, let's see. Who did we not talk to yet on the air here? Yes, let's get you on there, sir. Your name?
Bill Pohl.
Bill Pohl. I missed you there. Yes, and you are also with. Now you're with the box builders, or with the church, or you're with both?
I'm with Mihala.
You're with Mihala. Okay. And now what? You're a what over at the church?
I'm a student over there.
You're a student also too. Now, how many years are you a student?
About 8.
8 years with you. So we got kind of a nice range of people. You got 15, you got 8, and then we got a newcomer here at 1 year with the church.
Yeah.
8 years with the church, and you also too. You find this very fulfilling, and well, you must if you're there with eight years doing this.
This is stuff I always believed in, but I didn't know how to get a hold of it, and through Mihala I've been able to do that.
Okay, spiritualism has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
It became very, very popular, like in the mid-19th century, when it really kind of took flight and all that. And of course, we didn't have all this technology in those days, but nonetheless, people still believed and did all this. So
yeah, one of the sayings we say is that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. When the student is ready, the teacher appears. Didn't Benjamin Franklin say that?
I don't know.
Somebody said that. No, it was you. You just said it. That's right.
Marty said it.
Marty just said
2015.
it. That sounded good. Did you just make that up, or is that something you learned from memory from being a 15-year student?
No, it's
I'm assuming in 15 years you picked up some witty sayings over there.
Well, that was one of them.
Okay.
And it, it's interesting because it kind of makes sense for me personally, in that I always studied the works of Edgar Cayce. And then when I'd always have questions, I never really had anybody to ask follow-up questions on that would understand, that wouldn't look at me like I'm a little,
So you're here with other people that understand it, and
Right.
and you feel comfortable with this, and it helps you.
Exactly, and the church is a comfortable way of.
And it's a spiritual fulfillment for you. It's a personal thing.
Absolutely,
And, yeah, okay,
absolutely.
Wonderful. Now, I just have to ask, and you don't have to answer if you want to, but do you practice any other religions besides spiritualism, or?
Well, I was raised a Roman Catholic.
Okay.
So I guess the answer to that question is yes.
So you're still Roman Catholic spiritualist, or just all strictly spiritualist now?
Well, I don't like to
Whatever, like I said,
be
you don't have to-
defined
yeah.
by
You don't like the
any type
confines
of
of
religion,
religion. Okay.
because whether you're, we all carry energy, and we all belong to the human race, and I kind of like to look at it that way.
Okay.
I go both ways.
I think all of us here belong to the human race. You go both ways? Well, I don't know. We can go both ways with that answer, but I don't know if I want
Next week's show.
I don't know,
Catholic
I don't know if we want to go there. It's a whole other show. Yeah.
Where's the mute button?
Yeah. So how do you feel about all this, Kevin? You're mostly a historian.
I am, yeah. No,
So do you go in for this, or is it just a bunch of hooey, or?
No,
Well,
no,
Now
no.
you realize you're outnumbered here if you say this. So.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't dismiss any of that. I mean, I do find myself in the middle. As I said, when I was researching different cemeteries, you talk to people who adamantly believe, in spirits, and they believe in hauntings at the cemeteries and these different places, and then you talk to people who just, no, I've never seen anything, I dismiss it. But it's fascinating, and both sides are important to the story that
Sure,
we're trying to
okay.
tell. And both sides matter to the history of a particular place or a person.
Do you believe in it though? The spiritual?
I would call myself a skeptic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next time we have a seance, I think you should come.
Okay.
Honestly,
that sounds great.
you will be amazed.
Okay.
Totally amazed.
Yeah, I always think that my position comes in a lot from my training as an historian, where we're taught to verify things and source
Tangible
things
facts,
and look
things
at it
that are
again.
there, and-
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. And so,
So if
I
you can
sort-
actually physically put your hand on
exactly.
and know
so
what's what.
yeah, I
and-
definitely approach things that particular
Okay.
way. But I love hearing all
That's
sides.
very honest, a very candid answer. You're being very honest about it, yeah.
That's fine.
Just in case someone may not know, now I'm sure all of us sitting at this panel today, we all know this, but just what is the basic principle of spiritualism? What exactly is that? Is it a belief in the afterlife? Is it a belief that you never leave the world? What exactly is it?
What separates spiritualism from possibly other religions is it's the belief in communication with the spirit.
So there's a communication with loved ones that are no longer here, not necessarily even loved ones, just people that are no longer here, people you may or may not know.
That's right.
Mhm,
That's
okay,
right.
yeah.
And with that communication, we try to bring documented things. In other words, something that would be identifiable. And if it's not identifiable, then that's not the person we have.
Okay, and do you find sometimes that maybe people would join something like this more because they're looking for answers, or because they just feel such a loss with loved ones? Maybe a husband passed away, or a father, or someone that they're very close with, so they're joining a spiritualist church just with the hopes of maybe having communication with their loved ones, their departed loved ones?
Yes, I think that it's a healing for some people. For some people, it's curiosity. For other people, it's a deep-seated belief, a root of a belief. They come for many reasons.
Yeah, many variety of different reasons about this. And we should give a commercial for you, too, just in case someone is interested in the Spiritualist Church, and maybe they would like to come and attend a service. After that, possibly sign up for some of these classes and join us, one of your seances. How can we get a hold of you, Miss Bacon?
UnitedSpiritualCouncil.org.
Okay.
That is a council that my associate Donna and I created back in 2001. You can also call 708-652-5113. And we're at 5130 West 25th Street, Cicero, Illinois.
Okay, so you can just go show up and knock on the door and say hi. And
That's it.
Okay, we keep an open door policy over there at the funeral home. The former funeral home, I should say. Yeah.
The services of the church is at 11:15 on Sunday morning.
11:15 Sunday mornings, and it's open to anyone. If anyone would like to go and attend
Anybody.
a service, you can just go and do that and see if this is
We-
something for you. And
That is correct.
Yeah.
We use the Bible as our textbook. We follow Jesus' teachings. That is the format of our service.
Okay, so I was going to say Judeo-Christian teachings, but if you're following Jesus' teachings, they wouldn't be Judeo teachings; they'd be Christian teachings.
And also we do healing.
Okay.
We have hands-on healing service.
So you do get people that are sick now, spiritually sick or physically sick, or both.
Both.
So you've had good results. Now, say someone comes and there's physically they have some ailment or something like that. Have you had results with this, and that you know something you could actually say, yes, we've had?
We have seen a couple of incidences that were amazing.
Okay.
But for the most part, they come for continuous healing. They heal their spirit, they heal their energy, and so much more happens.
So this wouldn't necessarily be, now for someone like Mr. Korst, who admits he's a skeptic on this, and he's kind of middle road with this. Someone, say, that goes in and say they have cancer, or they have a leg injury, or an arm injury or something, and they're going there, and you say, okay, they're healed from this. We'd have actual medical proof that they're healed. No, we don't have that.
No, not on, I don't have any medical proof on cancer.
What's her name with the baby?
Yes, Susie, we had a girl that came many years ago, and she comes to our church, and she was pregnant. She was going to Northwestern University for her prenatal care. She had come across a problem. That's where they sent her, and the baby's organs were outside the body, the ultrasounds and whatever scans that they had.
So this is quite serious, yeah.
And as she came to the church, her mom and dad came, and it was the only place she knew. She was a young girl at the time, and she believed. She just, if I get to the church, something will happen. And as she was talking to us and telling us and crying about this baby, all I saw was the hand of God push the organs in, or what I call the hand of God. And I said, your baby's going to be all right. She's going to be fine. The baby was born fine.
Wonderful.
The baby has a scar on the side of her, on the side of her chest, and she has the pictures to prove both.
Okay, so this is a pretty credible witness here.
But the energy had to be right. I mean, she just came. She just knew, if I can get there, if I can just get there, I just know.
Now, were her mother and father already members of the church? And then
her mother and father, I never met them. They were deceased.
Okay. Oh,
they were
deceased.
See.
Okay.
Father used to come. Okay. This is the stepdad.
Oh, that was the stepdad, and I did his funeral.
Oh, so he was a member of the church.
Yeah,
okay.
I did. Well, he would come.
Okay,
and,
I got it.
And
okay.
I did his funeral, but the mother and father were deceased by the time I came along, which was in 75.
And she just felt led there in some way, and this happened to work out favorably for her. Thank God for all of that.
It worked out well for her.
Yeah.
She believed, and oftentimes that's part of what it takes. But
Yeah.
normally, if you come to me and tell me you've been diagnosed with cancer, I'm going to tell you to continue to see your doctor.
Absolutely,
You
yeah.
know, I'm fine with doing a healing over you, but continue your medical treatment. That would be foolish.
Absolutely, because we know how some people get with this, and some people really think, well, that's it. I'm going to the church now. I don't have to see my doctors. I'm healed this way, and
Never encourage that.
Okay.
I believe that doctors have a purpose in our life, and I believe that medicine works, and this is something that works also. But you need to have balance in your life.
Do you find people that maybe come to the church that are maybe bereaved, maybe over losses of a loved one, parents' losses over a child? There's nothing worse than a parent, losing a child, that type of thing, and they come to the church looking for answers. In addition to looking for answers like why this happened, they're also looking to communicate with them.
Exactly.
They feel like they have some unfinished business, And do they have good results with this? Are people able to reach out to their deceased loved ones?
Actually, there's very good results. Some of the most saddened cases are the ones that have been addicted to drugs and whatever, and that just leads to family crisis, continuing family crisis. So the child dies, the child overdosed, and the mother is all upset because the last time they talked, they fought. And does he forgive me? And, well, of course.
So we have some unfinished business here, this type of thing, and they're looking for closure. And
Exactly.
Okay. All right. This all makes sense to me. We are going to do something here that's, if you're willing to do it. You want to demonstrate the box for us?
I'd be happy to.
Okay, we're going to demonstrate now this is the Ghost Spirit Box, the Box Builders, and we're going to demonstrate this. Now, what exactly is this going to do for us? I have to set this up and let our listeners know what we're doing, because this is radio and they can't see what we're doing here.
Well, first of all, I want to say that Bachelor's Grove Cemetery is indeed haunted.
Thank you for that information. It's something we've all known for the last 150
Just
years.
for your information.
I've had a few run-ins with some folks at pastors. Unfortunately, the ones I've had are none of the ones that anybody else has had. You know, like the known ones that are kind of documented. People have had these encounters. I had some encounters with some different things over there, but nonetheless encounters. We're going to take a break for just a moment here, and then we'll get back to the box. We're going to take a break, and we'll be gone for a very short minute. And stick with us, folks. We'll be right back on. You don't want to miss the demonstration here. Our breaks are.
You are listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Tricek from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich and the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network on Tuesday, February the 24th, the year of our Lord, 2015. And this is Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich, Illinois. And now, friends, back to Paranormal Radio and Bob Tricek.
Okay, we are back on the air. Like I said, we have a very short break here. I don't know how long the break is when you're listening to us on the radio, but ours is about just a minute or a half a minute, and then we're right back on. We're going to, just in case you have not been listening with us, this has been a very enjoyable show. I've been learning some new things here, and hopefully, if you're listening, you've picked up some stuff from this too. We got a wonderful panel of people here, and we are going to have Mr. Andrew. Andy is going to demonstrate his box for us. His spirit box, I should say, or ghost box. What would you like to? It can be called any of this. Anything's the correct term for this thing.
Ghost box, spirit box, telephone to the dead. Some of the terms.
Telephone to the dead.
Yes.
I like that. Now, do you need an operator for that, or
wireless connection?
Actually, it kind of does work that way. How it works is that you have a radio receiver, and instead of tuning to a specific station, it scans throughout the entire band at a relatively fast rate. This creates a jumble of sounds, different noises, a very randomized jumble of sounds and noises that spirit energy can latch onto that sound and manipulate it and give you an intelligent response to your questions.
Okay, we're going to demonstrate this now. Okay, explain to us what you're going to do here, and then do it, and we'll see what results we get.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it on and run it. Basically, what I want to do is I'm just going to let it run and ask a couple questions. But for the people in the listening audience, I'm thinking this is going to be geared towards you. Oftentimes when you would broadcast a spirit box for an audience, the entities may have messages, not just for people in this room, but for people in the listening audience as well. So
this is good. This is certainly a way to attract a bigger listening audience. So we'll see what happens with this.
Listen closely, and if you're at home, you're listening to this, ask it a question. This is universal. They could hear you at your home. They could hear us in the studio. Things work in mysterious ways. So have a listen. I'm going to turn it on now.
Okay, Andy, go ahead. Do your stuff.
Hello? Anybody there with us today? Turn it up a little faster. Hello, my name is Andy. You have a message for us? Hello? Come on out and say hi to us.
Hi. Did you hear the hi?
This is being broadcast over the airwaves. So if you have any messages for the folks in the audience out there. Hi. Would you like to answer the question?
Missy, are you around? Very good, Missy.
Okay, now are we able to play this back and hear the responses you just heard and And they'll be a little more tangible. I mean, a little more intelligent sounding, or
I always require everybody to record their sessions
Okay.
because a lot of times you'll miss messages the first time around.
okay. Now you're asking some questions here, and supposedly you just got an answer from this Missy.
Yes,
So now
Missy
can we?
said her
Is
name.
there a way we
Her
can
name.
can we slow that up and play that back so we can actually hear Missy, or
No, you would have to
not
do
through
that.
this device?
Yeah.
I see. So in case someone's listening to this and they say, well, this just sounds like a bunch of like a radio station that's not quite on yet, and we're just hearing like stuff going this way and that way and all this. Basically, this is what it is. You're getting just all these jumble of sounds
Yes.
all over
Yes.
the place until somebody's good and ready to give you a message, and then they'll
Right,
let you know
it'll
they're there.
pop out.
Okay.
You'll be able to hear it.
So you have to buy another device, or something else has to hook
No.
up to this. Then
Well, typically you would use a recorder, like a
Okay.
rotation recorder or a camera. I use a cheap little point and shoot camera that
Okay.
shoots video. And
now, why would you shoot a video if you're looking for an audio response? Why would you have to shoot a video?
well, what I do is that I put these on YouTube, and when I listen to it, I'll transcribe the responses for people who don't hear it very well. Let me turn this on for a minute.
Okay.
You know, for people who can't hear the voices right away, having the subtitles on there helps people to tune their ears to the specific sounds. It helps people learn how to use the box and how to, figure out how.
This
it
is
operates.
this is a chief criticism of people with paranormal skeptics with the EVP recordings, because they say, gee, they're all very garbled and jumbled, and you can make them say, if you're listening to it, you can make it listen. If you listen to it close enough, you can make it say almost anything you want it to say. Like,
Sure.
for instance, like a response to Missy or something like that. Well, you heard it right away, so you have to have kind of a trained ear for this and pick it up. I have to admit, I myself didn't hear it. Not that I'm a skeptic, I do believe in
I
this,
heard it. You
but
heard
I
it.
didn't.
I
didn't
heard
hear
it.
Yeah.
I heard it for sure, 100%.
Did you hear any of this, Kevin?
I didn't.
No, me
know.
neither. I honestly can say I didn't. Yeah,
It's very
and I
faint.
do believe in this. I'm not, being, the devil's advocate on this.
Bob, you would have to literally sit down a couple of times with it. Truthfully,
Yeah.
it's Echovox, this box that you will pick it up.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
just remarkable.
And then this
actually.
is now. I'm guessing this records it. So now we can play this back.
No, this doesn't record it.
It doesn't
just
record it.
sends
So
the
this was a
sound.
one-time thing, and that's it. So now that's why you're recording it with the video. So later on you can look through the video.
Yes.
So now what the heck? I'm spending $450 for this thing, and it doesn't even record it for me. I gotta.
No, because the sound comes out through the speaker. So
Uh-huh.
if you could record it and then put it on your computer, but all you're going to hear is the dry sound.
What if you were to have a recording device while this is going, something else to record it besides a video, like say just an audio device
You
for
can.
recording?
You could.
You can.
And
yeah.
would that pick it up, or would it not? Maybe it's at a different
sure.
frequency, or okay.
It depends, because there are different techniques. If you know about acoustics, about sound, rooms have different vibes, rooms have
okay.
different frequencies. And you kind of have to place the recording equipment in a way to get the best vibe, the best response on the recording.
And then I'm guessing
you
too,
know.
some days are just more better in tune with the spirit world than
Yes.
other
Yes.
days are.
Yes,
Some days it just may
absolutely.
come up dry, you're getting nothing, and then other days the thing's going crazy and you're getting everybody talking on
And
there.
we're still
You're
at the
absolutely
very
right.
Primitive stages. Technology is still at the very primitive level of picking up these sounds.
This is like an electronic seance is what it comes down to. Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's kind of like an electronic seance. A seance kind of does the same type of thing. You're getting people, but with the seance you need the medium to do it, such as Miss Bacon would be. In this case, you need this little wooden box to talk to, and this piece of technology kind of does that. So, yeah.
It acts as sort of a microphone, an amplifier. Spirit
Okay.
voices can be very faint, and if you're recording traditional EVPs, oftentimes you don't hear it at all until you listen to it later.
Right, yeah.
So this just sort of works as an electronic voice box for spirits.
We get this
to
question a lot, and I'll throw it
utilize.
to you. Why do people in the spirit world talk in such a way? Why don't they just talk to us in a way that we're able to listen to them and hear them? Why do you have to listen to these things and we just can't hear this? Without the trained ear, we can't hear. Why are they just not speaking to us clearly? If they have something they definitely want us to hear.
I think it has a lot to do with a person's psychic sensitivity to it. Some people get it instantly. Some people
don't.
Get
So
it
some
at
people
all.
are just a little more.
One of the things you have to consider is when somebody's alive, they have a body and a vehicle that deliver the voice. When there's no longer a body, the energy doesn't dissipate. The energy is still there, and if you learn to attune yourself spiritually, the messages come. And in the case of a seance, the medium will raise their vibration and kind of meet the spirit world somewhere in between. Hence the term medium.
But in the case of a seance, though, the spirits are talking only to the medium. They're not talking to everyone else. And then the medium, they are transmitting.
Well, the medium's sensitive. If you had a bunch of mediums, they could all be probably picking up the same thing.
Right.
They're talking
Something
to
similar.
anybody who could
Yeah.
pick it up.
Okay.
They're talking.
I'm just kind of asking the questions here for someone that may be curious. I know the answers to some of these things. Some I'm asking for myself too, for my own benefit.
I'll tell you, one of the things that works for me is when we have to pay attention to our thoughts. And oftentimes when our thoughts drift or whatever, or go somewhere, and say they sync up with an event, whether it be a birthday, a license plate number, a picture of a memory or something like that, then if the two are in sync, I me personally accept that as a message.
Okay. Yeah. All right, makes sense. Yeah.
The spirit, more times than not, impresses you. Just kind of leans an impression. And I think people think, well, they talk, they give an impression and you give an impression, and this is how we communicate. It's almost like we become one with the spirit.
Okay.
The communication is a concept, and then it's up to us to get it out into words. Because in the spirit world, they don't need words. We have voice boxes for words. They have to build a voice box.
Okay, in the spirit world, they don't need words and anything. But if they're trying to communicate with someone that's mortal, that's still on this earth, if you're definitely trying to communicate with them, they need the words.
Then they need to figure out how to communicate. And you have to remember, when we release this body, that vocabulary is also released. So they don't have the vocabulary.
They're speaking another language, so to speak.
Well, they release the voice box. They release the words that belongs to our mind, and they go back to feeling. So when they communicate with us, they truly are putting a huge effort out to try to let us know that they're okay, or to say hi. Just to say hi is a tremendous energy.
Now, with a device such as this, would you find you would get better results, say, in certain spots? Now, say you were to go with Kevin here, and you were to go to one of his cemeteries, when you do some research at a cemetery, and you brought this to the cemetery, would you get better results in a cemetery because the energy level would be higher there, or would it not make a difference?
I don't think it would make a difference. The spirit is going to meet you. My dad is not going to be at the cemetery if I'm over at the church.
Okay.
If I go to the cemetery and I want to put flowers on my mother's grave, I'm focused. That's who I'm thinking about. So she would come to me possibly at the cemetery, but that doesn't mean she lives there.
Right.
Her body's there, but the essence of who she is not there.
Yeah.
But she would impress on me there because I would be thinking about her at prime time.
So you'd just be more in tune with it, the feelings would be stronger, and so you might actually get better results there, better communication.
Well, if I was thinking about it, if I was cooking a meal that Mom always cooked, and I was thinking, oh my gosh,
it could come through that way too. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Okay. All right, makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Now, this will be up on YouTube too, so we're going to have this so people can listen to this, and I will be listening to this too and see what came up here. Because like I said, I listened to this and I really didn't hear it, and right away you caught it really quickly. Oh, there it was. There's this, that, and the other. And I listened to the same thing you listened to, but I didn't.
She said her name. She said Missy. It was clear as day.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a little faint, but it was there.
All right. So
a lot of times you hear the voices come through in like the in-between sounds. So a lot of people, when they listen to this, they're listening to the obvious noises that are coming out as it's scanning back and forth, when the magic is happening in those quiet moments in between those sounds. Oftentimes voices will carry over several stations as well, complete sentences stuff. And these are things you have to have a little patience and a little experience before they unfold themselves for you.
So what do you think, Kevin? You want to invest in one of these and drag it around with you to the cemeteries and see what happens here?
No, this is great. I mean, I think, there's a lot we don't know and don't understand, and so I'm very open, and this stuff is just absolutely fascinating to me.
One of the things that you might need to know is Missy would come through, if at all possible, because she's my daughter.
Ah, okay, all right.
So that would be an extremely strong desire.
That was going to be my next question. I was going to ask you, who is Missy? Why did this come through, and why did you,
Yeah, that would, and she seems to work with electronics well, and she seems to be able to impress upon me well. So if we were trying to do something like this, she would be all for it.
Okay. Now, if this spirit, say Missy, if Missy's good and ready and she wants to talk to you and she's got some message to say to you, you wouldn't need the spirit box. She would just come to you without it.
Exactly.
This, of course, is helping to enhance it, and it's a good way for you if you do want to get a hold of her, so to speak, like you said, the telephone.
It's a tool.
Yeah, as a tool, right. Okay, all right, just makes sense to me.
And it's an excellent tool, by the way. It's excellent.
Okay, the
Thank you.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, the spiritualist classes now. Do you have any certain time that you start, or can anybody just come in and join at any time, or is there certain?
I have
criteria?
a closed class.
Okay, so you're full now. You're full up.
I'm filled up. I
Okay.
have a closed class. We have a waiting list.
Okay.
And my classes is on Monday night.
Okay, so Monday nights. So you took tonight off to come here and do the radio show.
Exactly.
Huh? Or is this the class?
Well, part of the class.
This is part of the class.
That
here,
was
okay.
part of the deal.
How many
Can the
people are in the
come?
class? How many people do you?
We have
how many
10.
students? You have so 10. Okay, so it's a small class. So you get a lot of personal attention with this. So it's
Right.
not
We
yeah.
don't like huge classes
Yeah.
because this requires attention, and they learn various things. I have a palm reader back here.
Oh yeah, me too.
He does right.
Yeah,
And he does angel cards.
Angel cards. Now, what exactly are angel cards?
It's like the tarot, but it's
Talk
not.
up. Move yourself in a little closer to the mic.
It's like the tarot, but it's not as dark.
It's not as dark as
Yeah,
tarot. Okay,
yeah.
so they're angel cards. Now, how are they? How would they be different from tarot? I've never heard. Honestly, I have never heard of angel cards.
It's a. The answers are gentler. They're
Is it a different deck of cards altogether? Oh
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. It was developed by what's her name?
Doreen Virtue.
Doreen Virtue.
I've never heard of it. I
Yeah.
have to say I've never heard of angel cards. And I thought I heard of everything, but I never heard of angel
Yeah,
cards.
she has a series of these.
Okay. So how did you get involved in this angel card?
I worked with Mihaela,
Okay.
and she invited me to one of the classes, and I've been going ever since.
So you were doing the cards before the class?
No,
Oh, you-
these
okay.
I just picked these up recently, and
Okay.
it's not that I read the cards so much. It's the vehicle that I'm able to use.
Okay. There again, it's a tool for communication.
Yeah, other people
Okay.
use something else, but these I just found to be easier for me to use, and it makes things clearer for me.
Yeah. And now you are the palm reader, right?
Yeah.
Do you find you have trouble reading your own palm?
Well, I use what I can, whoever's hand is available.
Okay, but like
So
your own. If
there's
you take a look
mine.
at yours, do you have trouble? Because I have trouble doing my own. I can never do my own.
Oh.
If I look at my own, it doesn't come out right. I can't do my own.
Well, so much of it is the impressions you get with, with your, that's coming to you. Again, it's a tool. It's just a tool to focus and to give you a guideline and to help you.
Okay, so we're on the same way. I just wanted to get your opinions on
Yeah.
palm reading. So you're kind of thinking the same way I'm thinking about the whole
This
process.
is Anna Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah. So that's it.
Okay. Just in case you're wondering, that was Donna Fisher, who did not want to come on and talk, but see, we got her to do it. She was talking on the radio, and she didn't realize she was even doing it. Yeah. Need to get an opinion of someone else that does the same thing you do. Yeah. Some time ago, when I did a radio show first before I did this one. I did a show at WARG, and just before I started doing the radio show, there was a psychic, a medium that I had wanted to contact for some time, and finally we were able to connect and everything. The first thing I did when I sat down, of course I didn't tell her anything, and she said, "You read palms, don't you?" And I said, "Yes, I do." She says, "Good, you're going to have to do mine." She says, "When I look at mine, it doesn't come out right." I said, "Same thing happens to me." So it was kind of a wash. I saved myself $60 because she did a reading for me, I did a reading for her, and it worked out nicely for us both. I did invite her to come on as a guest, though she did not want it. She said no, radio and the public wasn't her thing. She was very sincere about this, and she didn't like to sensationalize it, and she liked to just do what she did. So I respected that, and she was very good. I really liked her a lot. Okay, so now we do the classes, we do the spirit boxes, we do all this stuff. Seances. You conduct seances from time to time, which one, like I said, I did attend one in November with you. How often do you do the seances over at the church?
Generally about every other month.
Every other month you do them. So maybe
Generally.
maybe 6 a year you do.
Yeah, 6.
Okay.
And then we travel and we do seances. Maybe where we're going, we do workshops. We carry the message.
Do you feel it's necessary to travel with these, or would you just don't?
No, we just get invited. We were out in Arizona.
Just reaching a bigger market.
Over Christmas, and we had a group that wanted us to come out and do a seance.
All right,
so
makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. Now, do you find you get better results with the seance, or do you get better results with the box? Which way do you think it works?
Personally, I don't use the box.
Okay.
I'm exposed to the box. Last time Julius brought one of Andy's boxes because he had bought one, and that was first time I was exposed to your box. And I think it's a great tool for people that like to do those tools. I move into the energy vibration. I don't use cards. I don't use anything. I just sit here and
you talk, and what comes out comes out. And,
exactly.
Okay. All right. Makes sense to me. This all does. Okay. Who did we not get on here? I think we had everybody talking, didn't we? We got everybody talking.
Chris.
You want to say hi, Chris? That's all?
Say hi. Get on the radio.
Yeah,
Say hi.
Hi, Andy's box works great. Everyone should own one.
There you go.
And what is your kickback on those boxes? You get like $20 per box?
100%.
I help build them.
That's Chris Landry, and I'm guessing she's a partner of Andy's, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you two partner up with these. Now, does one person build the cabinet, one person does the electronics? How does this work? You just kind of do whatever?
We take turns.
Okay.
I teach Chris how to stuff circuit boards. I do all the wiring, assembly, and final testing.
Is there a wait for these? Now, say someone was to contact you through online and that, and they want to order one of these. How long is the wait to get one of these?
There was a wait, but basically I stopped taking orders, and we're pre-building a whole bunch of new boxes to be sold for immediate sale.
Okay, all right,
Yes.
that makes sense to me. That's good that business is so booming with these things, yeah.
They are. People love them. It just seems to be growing and growing and growing. When I first got into using the Ghost Box several years ago, there was maybe like 500, not even 1,000 people who were serious about it. But now, today, it's like exponentially more than that. You're talking several thousand, maybe 10,000 or more people.
That was a question I was going to ask you. I was going to say, do you think that this market, like the people you're getting, are people that are actually serious about this? Or these are people that are just looking at this as a novelty thing, like parlor tricks, this kind of thing? And
I think people take it seriously. There's different levels of involvement. You could spend a few dollars and get a cheap spirit box for $50, $70 and get started, and if you're inclined, you want the best, you buy one of my boxes, because I do. I put a lot of time and effort. I've been doing this for a long time.
how would someone know, since you're experienced at this and building these, you build these things, custom make them, how would someone know, the consumer? They're looking on the store online, they're shopping for a spirit box. How would the difference be? Would it just be price alone? They say, oh, this one is selling for $50, that's no good, it's a cheap one. This one here is $475, this would be a better one. How would you just go solely on price, or what would they look for?
Well, they would look for good sound quality, good reception.
Okay, but now if you're ordering this online, though, you aren't going to be able to demonstrate this online like that.
Well, a lot of the folks who come to me do their research, and there's a lot of groups on Facebook run by nice people, where people discuss the different options.
And I guess recommendations also.
Recommendations, yes.
Recommend it, yeah.
And I don't advertise. I don't promote myself. All my sales are strictly through word of mouth.
And you're doing that well with them. You're that backed up,
yeah.
Just word of mouth sales. Well, that's fantastic. They must say something about your product, and you must be putting out a good product. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is very good. I take a lot of pride in my work, and and I use the box. Chris uses the box. We always get great results, and we post our videos. We love to share the evidence with everyone because we feel like this should be more mainstream. We want a lot of people more involved. There's nothing fake about it. We're very sincere about this. We believe in it, and we wanted to promote it to everyone.
Okay. Kevin Korst, how you doing? Are you becoming more of a believer, less of a skeptic with this? Or
We'll have to see, yeah.
Is it doing anything for you? You're still kind of believing what you're believing, and that's it?
No, like I said, I just think it's absolutely fascinating how people utilize technology to contact these different planes or whatnot. But it's always, I'm always interested in learning more and seeing what happens.
It amazes me, though, like I had said before, this stuff has been with us always, since the beginning of time. People always believed, people always knew this was out there. People, spiritualism, people always believed in this, but no one had this technology years past, but nonetheless people believed. So, it's just nice that these things are here to enhance it and maybe just have a little more tangible evidence.
There's a new field in science, and it's called energetics. And that actually is things that the scientists know exist, and they cannot prove it yet. And many of the things that we've talked about tonight fall into that field. The scientists today are children of the people of the 60s, where those people wanted to do their own thing. They wanted to contact God themselves.
Well, that's because they were all on drugs.
Well, that's okay. That's what they wanted to do. And so these are the children now that are the scientists. So they have belief systems that the old scientists didn't have.
Okay.
They're more open-minded. They're more receptive to.
Some with the paranormal too. Paranormal is not actually a recognized science yet. I got a feeling in time to come it will be. You know, right now it's still kind of up in the air. There, I always like to use the example. It's sort of like a chiropractor was maybe 25 or 30 years ago. They weren't really recognized as medicine. Now it's more and more accepted, and that's kind of what's happening with these things too. Although with the paranormal and with spiritualism, this kind of goes in waves. Sometimes it's very hot. It's very, like right now, it's becoming very popular again, this kind of thing. And then it kind of fizzles for a few years, and then it comes back again. So it kind of goes in and out, you know.
Exactly.
We get these spurts with it, yeah. You always have the diehard core of loyal people that are loyal to it and are, you know, members of the churches and follow this and are with it. But then you have the new people, too, that kind of come in the waves.
You've got the New Age movement.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, that all kind of just molds into
and also too at a time of
categories.
turmoil and things when things are usually at unrest like they are right now with, you know, with the economy and with the world situation and things happening where they are, you find people are looking for answers elsewhere, and that kind of turns people to these things too. They're
Exactly.
looking for, they're looking for other answers, and they're looking for things that maybe they can't find in this world, so they're looking to the other world to get them.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. They're looking for something that they can't touch here.
Yeah.
And so they continue their search, they continue, and they continue until something touches them, something that feels right within.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you're
Now with the
looking for.
Spiritualist Church, like you said, you conduct funeral services and
Oh,
things for people.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now how would they feel about this? Like say you have someone that's like a Roman Catholic, and they want to be buried like in a Catholic cemetery. So we're having a spiritualist minister do the service. Do they kind of allow this, or is this conflicting?
I'm one of the few ministers that I know of that is allowed to bury in a Catholic cemetery
okay. Mm-hmm.
that doesn't practice Catholicism.
Okay. So now, why would that be? Why would your qualifications allow you to do that, or you know, what would make you different from the other ones?
I'm not sure why I'm different. I don't know. It just
That's
happened.
interesting.
It
Yeah.
just happened for me. I had somebody that wanted me to bury out of their cemetery, and I was allowed to do it. Went through the paperwork. Back when Cardinal Bernardine was alive, I had taken some classes from him.
Yeah, I think that was a difference too with Cardinal Bernardine. I know when Cardinal Bernardine was in office, so to speak, if you want to call it that, things were a little more open to the paranormal, to wood investigations in cemeteries, investigations in churches and stuff like that. And then after his death, that kind of closed. That kind of went, so the pendulum kind of swung the other way now. So they're not, the church is a little less receptive to it now than they used to be, I think.
I think Cardinal Bernardine...
In our area, in the Chicago area. In other areas of the country, no, it's not so, but around here, yeah.
Cardinal Bernardine, you could not help but feel something when you were in his presence. He was an extraordinary man.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just different. You know, someone else comes in and a different thing now. The gentleman that's in there now, we don't really know too much about him. It's been a little too soon to see what he's going to do, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes and see if they're happy with that. Well, this was a fast hour. We're kind of running to the end here and that. Let's get back to the commercials again. Okay, the spirit boxes, the ghost boxes, if they're interested in having one of these built, you got to get on the wait list. How long is the time now to get one of these done? Say someone orders one tonight. Well, not tonight because they won't be hearing this broadcast tonight, but tomorrow when this goes up on Jack FM and someone's listening to this and they say, I'm calling up and I'm getting one of these contraptions, how long do they have to wait to get it?
There currently is no wait. I'm not taking orders at the moment.
No, no, right there. He just told me that there's a wait for these things and all
There used
this,
to
and
be
we're
a wait.
backed up and
There used to be a wait. The thing is, when I first
oh,
started
you're changing
building
your
these,
story on me here. You know, it's
well, I will have these up for sale probably first week of March at the latest. You can check my webpage, and I shall have a portal there. You could see demonstration videos and purchase one right there.
So from start to finish, they call you up tomorrow and they want to order one of these. How long does it take to be built and in the mail, and we got it at home?
You have to wait till they're online.
Okay, all right.
Waiting for a new box. That's
So wait till
why
they go
it's
up.
just
Okay, and if
cheap.
they are interested in this, you want to get a hold of you, go ahead, give us your commercial where they can get you.
I'm at www.chicagospiritwave.com.
Okay, there you go, if you're interested in one of this. And Miss Bacon, the Spiritualist Church here, give us the phone number there and the address if someone would like to come and show up for an 11 o'clock service and possibly get interested and see if this is something for them.
5130 West 25th Street, Cicero, Illinois, 708-866-8255. 863-7190 is the church number.
This Saturday is the first one.
And this Saturday is the first Saturday of the month. Every first Saturday of the month, what we do is you can do 2 questions and a mini reading for $10. Also, the students of the church, the palm reader, the card reader, the echo box, who's now bringing the Andes box.
So this is like a little psychic fair
Just
over
a
here.
little,
Oh, yeah, it's
little
wonderful.
thing.
It's
It's
really
great.
cool.
Yeah, okay. So this would be on Saturdays. Sunday would be the service. Now, you don't charge for the services.
No,
You
no,
just
no,
go
no,
in
no.
for
Just
the
but
service.
Saturday
Yeah.
night, it's
Okay.
$10.
And the seances, you run those like every other month. When's the next seance going to be?
It should be in April.
Next seance will be April. Oh, so we got a little time for that one. That's coming up in April there. What date in April? What's the date?
I don't have a date.
Don't have a
Snap
date for
It.
the seance.
Snap It runs my seances, and they create a date. They just
Okay.
told me last week they were going to do one in April.
Now, the seances, do you find people maybe are a little less serious about the seances? People are more fun-loving. They're just going to experience something different on a Saturday night. We want to go to a seance. You know, they're a little less, you know, they're more doing this for fun than they are in entertainment than they are being serious about it.
I think they want communication.
Okay.
Why would anybody go if they didn't want communication?
Curiosity, just to see how one's done, to see how it's different from the movies to the actual
Well,
real thing, you know.
That's
Variety of reasons, you know.
And I think they want some kind of communication. And when we do our seances, it is not scary. And that's one of the things I tell them. That's one of the things that they come. I'm scared.
Yeah, I have to say that just in case you've never attended a seance, when you do attend a seance, you're going to be very surprised because it's something very different from what you've seen in movies and what you've been exposed to. You know, it's not a bunch of people sitting around a round table with the table levitating and all this kind of thing and tambourines flying through the air and all this kind of stuff like that. So it's very different from what you've seen and what Hollywood has let us believe they are. So they're very different. What about you, Kevin? You want to go to one of these things or something? I went to one. If I can do this, you can too. You know,
Yeah,
as a
that sounds
historian.
fantastic,
Then you
yeah.
have something to report it
Right.
to. So there you go. Why don't you invite him as a guest on the next seance there, and he'll do, you know, this will be brought up in one of the lectures. What do you got going on, Kevin? You doing any lectures? And now you have a full-time job with the library. You're with the Oakland Library. You're the historian there with them.
You can find me in the local history unit at the Oakland Public Library. We're getting ready to open up a brand new exhibit on sports in Oak Lawn, and we're moving the local history room into a brand new space, much bigger, brighter, more expansive for exhibits. And you can also find me on the local history page on the Oakland Public Library's website at oaklawnlibrary.org.
And if you do get a chance, I can vouch for this one also, too. If you do get a chance to listen to Kevin, if he's doing any lectures or anything in your local library and you find him there, go and listen to him. He's a very interesting man, very interesting to listen to, and you'll be educated, and you'll learn a lot. He's got a lot of things to say.
Thank you. And I just really encourage people to please visit local cemeteries. They're incredible places full of history and fascinating people.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
They're
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful. You probably drive by them on a daily basis and never think twice, but just stop by for a few minutes.
I agree. For whatever your interest would be, if it's either in the architecture or to visit loved ones that are there, or just for an interest in the paranormal, whatever it is, visit your cemeteries. Go and support your cemeteries, so to speak. Support the local cemeteries. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Like I said, people are dying to get in, so there's it's a
We're all gonna make
constant
it there
flow.
someday or another.
We all end up there one way or the other. Yeah, eventually that's where we all end up. Yeah, wherever it's at, that's where you end up. So many people now, I think, again, people are getting interested in this. For a while, it was kind of out of vogue. People didn't like to talk about it. But now I find that more people that you talk to are pre-arranging their funerals. They're picking out their plots ahead of time and that. So people are getting interested in the cemeteries again. And also cost is always a factor, too. They're constantly going up in price. So if you buy it now, and 25 years from now, when you're going to need the thing or whatever, you pay a lot less for it now than you will later on. Okay, let's see who we have left here. Anybody else have any closing comments? Anything else to say here?
Thank you for having
Nope.
us.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you for having us. Sorry, Bob.
Mention everybody's
I'm like,
names
no.
back again here. Kevin Kors, the local history coordinator with the Oakland Library. Mr. Julius
Schwartzinger.
Marty Tong with the Evangelical Spiritual Church. Donna Fisher, who did not want to come on the radio, but we coerced her into doing it. She's the associate pastor at the Spiritual Church. And, of course, Miss Mahala Bacon, who is the pastor at the church. Mr. Spirit Box Builder, Mr. Andrew Openlander. Did I say it right? Openlander?
Yes.
Openlander. Mr. Bill Pohl. What do you do, Bill? I don't have anything besides your name. What you do? You're just a student over there at the church.
I'm
Oh,
retired.
and you're the angel card
Yeah.
reader. He does the angel card reading. Now, where would you do this privately for people if they're interested, or you
Yeah,
just only
if
at the
they're
church in it?
interested, yeah,
How can
sure.
they get a hold of you if they want to have a card
through the
reading done?
church.
Through the church, do it? So if you want to request a spirit or an angel card reading, this is. I might have you do one of these for me because I never had one of these done.
All right.
Like I never heard of that until tonight. And
Come
like
to
I said,
Saturday.
You need to come Saturday. You'd have a great time.
This Saturday come?
No,
Yep.
not this one.
No, the first Saturday of each month at
First
5
Saturday of each month,
o'clock.
show up. Oh, at 5, okay. Well, I'll have to see if McDonald's lets me out, and I may make it over there at 5. That's a little early for me, but we'll see what we can do about that. I might show up on that one. And who's the name that I miss here? Chris Landry.
Hi, thank you.
You're with the Spirit Wave. You build the boxes, too.
Yes, I help Andy.
Okay, you help Andy build boxes. Thank you all so much. It's been very interesting, very enlightening. I learned some stuff from this, and thank you. Listen to us on Jack FM tomorrow morning at 89.7. We'll be on there at 10 o'clock in the morning. Listen to the broadcast. Oh, there's my music. That's the old X-Files music. Yeah. Remember the X-Files thing? Yeah. A while ago, yeah. I remember when that show first came out. You know how they do those mall survey things in the shopping malls? They stop you with the questions. They nabbed me for that ages ago, and they said, "Here, take this cassette, watch the show." And it was the X-Files. So they did a survey on that and asked you every question you could think of. Did you like the girl? Did you like the guy? Was the show too dark? Was it too light? Did you like the cars? Did you like the clothes? And all the stuff about it. And I liked everything I saw, and the show did turn out to be kind of a hit, so that worked out very well. Thank you all for listening, folks. It's always a joy doing these shows. John DeVita, thank you so much, sir. Mr. John Shakanda, thank you, John. I have to extend a special thank you to you, John. Last month I did a few presentations at things at some of the libraries, and John showed up and videotaped them for me, and he gave me the discs of those, which we sell those now. We are selling those discs for like $5, so people have tapes of those presentations, and he did fantastic. I got to find out how he made Little Egypt dance. I did a presentation on the Columbian Exposition, and in the thing we had a still photo of Little Egypt, but he got her to dance. I don't know how he did it. He's amazing. Thank you so much, John Shakanda, and he's our producer for these shows too, and for the work he puts into it, and for Mr. John DeVita, the nicest man in radio, Uncle John over there. Thank you so much for having us do these shows, John. Thank you. Okay, thank you, folks. It's a joy doing these, and tune in with us next month in March, and like I said, we'll have some folks on with UFOs. We're going to do some UFO talking on that. Bye-bye, folks. Have a nice evening.
Good night.
You have been listening to Paranormal Radio with Bob Trisek from the John DeVita Broadcast Center on the Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network and Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM Norwich. Paranormal Radio was directed by John DeVita. Our audio engineer is James Rohde. The executive producer of Windy City Hometown Entertainment Network is John Shakanda, and radio station manager for WRHS FM Norwich is Mr. Kevin Zeflik. This broadcast was pre-recorded on Monday, February the 23rd, the year 2015. Until next time, be safe and thanks for listening. And this is Jack FM 89.7 WRHS FM, Norwich, Illinois.